So, it's New Year's Eve, and I guess, feeling reflective. Actually, I'm riddled with anxiety, but what better time to turn on the camera and do a little vlog? And I did a New Year's vlog last year. Sorry, putting my readers down. And it was very different than this New Year's vlog. That's how much my world has changed. Like, I chose, I don't do, and I stole this from a YouTuber who I can't remember who it was, but, I liked the idea of, instead of New Year's resolutions, do a theme for the year that you try to abide by. And this year, I chose spiritual balance. And since then, my entire life has been turned upside down and backwards and inside out. Just, man, it's been, I think, I've had rough years. I think this has unequivocally been the most difficult year of my life. Like 2024. Oy. Man, I can't even, spiritual balance. I don't know, did I achieve it? Did I at least learn something about it? I don't know, but I've been coping with chocolate, and that's not good. The last few days, I've just had such anxiety over, just because I'm in a place, I'm in this office, which is a giant step forward out of the ashes that my life was in just a few months ago, and I have bold, ambitious plans for 2025 that I'm not letting anyone get in the way of. But that gives me anxiety because, yes, fortune favors the bold, but being bold causes me anxiety. So, it's gonna be difficult to do the things I want to do with my life moving forward, but I'm getting there, and it's been a rough year. I don't really want to get too into it because I vlogged through that year, and if you're curious, feel free, dig through my life here on the YouTube, and you can see how it fell completely apart this year and how I started piecing it back together by the end of the year. But I've accomplished a lot. I've got the writing office, not completely set up yet, but we're getting there. I've been working on project schedules for next year to get everything done that I want to get done. And I think that's what caused me anxiety. Well, I'll come back to that. Accomplishments. I posted 55 videos this year. That's, I think, a record for me. We did 6 new episodes of Autodidactica, which was more of a struggle than I've let on. And we're even, Matt and I have planned out season 2 of Autodidactica. It only took us, season 1 doesn't end until next month, so it'll have taken us from 2022 to 2025, and we still have to record that last planned episode, but we have a season 2 all blocked out that I'm looking forward to. Maybe. I think I'm looking forward. I always have fun doing Autodidactica. I really do enjoy that podcast. Don't mind me being real. I just have anxiety about things. You know, the things I love to do also cause me anxiety. I'm a complex human being. Um, but yeah, I published two new short stories this year, Metronome's Death Match and The Theomorph, which I'm really happy about. So, despite this being the hands down hardest year of my life, which is a record I'd love to stop breaking, like, because I've had a lot of hardest years of my life that are in the rearview mirror and now pale in comparison to this year. But I've kept going. I've gotten a lot done. I've made a lot of progress. I think even as a human being, you know, in spiritual balance, it's only fitting to address the year's theme here on the last day of the year. And what even is it? You know, like, I think you can't have it without immense hardship. You know, for me, I think spiritual balance has been about making very hard choices, emotionally, very hard choices with personal relationships. And, you know, sometimes those very hard choices sort of involve not turning to the dark side, like when people you love do things that hurt you tremendously. Not throwing those relationships away completely and forever can be a very hard thing to do. But it's like, vengeance is not right for my spirit. Like, you know, I love people. I always tell people, like, if you want to understand me, you need to know that I love like a dog. Like, I am a golden retriever. And that's kind of it's a difficult thing for me to navigate because it gets me kicked a lot. Because I love completely. There's no in between. It's like it's all or nothing. Like, I either don't find someone interesting enough to even acknowledge, or I completely love a person. You know, all of my friends. I don't know how else to love except unconditionally. That's what love is to me, and that's a big part of my spiritual balance, is giving myself permission to still love people and to not feel like I'm doing something wrong, like that I'm being weak. It's never weak to love someone. But balance is, while loving a person, you know, at the same time, fixing firm boundaries for myself. You know, like if, you know, like say if you're a dog and you bring a ball to someone you adore and they throw the ball and you catch the ball and bring it back, and then they dip the ball in gasoline and shove it in your mouth. You know, people might tell you, you should rip that guy's throat out. You should take a dump in his mouth while he's asleep. But you're a golden retriever, so you can't. Like, you could have cathartic fantasies about doing something like that, but actualizing them, it's just not who you are. You're a golden retriever, right? So it's okay that you still love the person who dipped your ball in gasoline and shoved it in your mouth. But it's not okay to keep bringing them your ball. find someone else to play fetch with. And you can still care about that person, you know. You can still chase off burglars who mean that person harm. You you can still care deeply and unconditionally about people who hurt you. I think that's probably, you know, because there's a lot, you know, that I have not put on the camera that's happened this year. Just for, you know, reasons of respecting people's privacy. I just, you know, I feel like what I have put on camera has been intense enough, but I think that's probably been one of the biggest examples of finding spiritual balance for me this year. Is just kind of coming to terms with those valid contradictions. Like, you can acknowledge that some people that we love are not safe, and you can still love them, and you can also find ways not to let them have power over you in the future. You know, it's a balancing act I'm still figuring out, but I'm moving forward, and I'm taking care of myself, and that's okay to do too. That's something I've learned as well in my quest for spiritual balance this year, is the value of taking care of myself, and that there are times in life, because I'm the sort of person who puts a lot into taking care of other people. Like, you know, like I was a caretaker for my mother in the last 6 years of her life, and it wrecked my life, but I don't regret it. I wouldn't make a different choice, because I'd have to be someone else. Even knowing the future, knowing how everything was going to get derailed for years because of that decision, I wouldn't make a different choice. I would still drop everything to take care of my mother in her declining years. And so I'm not blaming myself for that. I mean, here's balance. Sometimes you make a right decision that harms you, but it's okay. I mean, and that's not weak. And it's also not selfish or heartless to deliberately say, I am going to take the next year to put myself first, which is what I've decided to do. Like, I still love all of the people that I love. I still value all of my relationships, however they may have evolved. Like, I just can't put other people ahead of myself for a year, because I have to rebuild. I have to have firm ground to stand on, and I can't build a sturdy platform for my own life if I drop everything to take care of someone else again, if I help someone out financially to my own detriment, if I, you know, and I don't know how to phrase that so that it doesn't sound like, yes, I am going to be a heartless bastard for a year. I'm absolutely not. Like, I'm still going to help people. I'm still going to be involved in people's lives, but I'm putting myself first, because if I don't, I won't be able to be there for people when they really need me. I need to get back into a position. You know, like, when my mother first started going down the drain, you know, I was in a position to help her financially, and you know, right, this year I've barely made it through any given month. Like, for the first time this month, for the first time this year, because I think it was probably January when I had financial catastrophes hit that I've been struggling to recover from all year long. But I finally have, like by the time I get my next paycheck, I'm not going to be in the red. Like everything, my budget is balanced. I have a few dollars that I can spend on whatever I want. Like I have $5, folks. I'm balling. It's like really an improvement. So, but you know what I mean is if I have $5 in addition to money that is set aside for necessities and such, and I'm building up my savings, like I'm taking care of myself. And I guess, maybe that's the lesson I really needed to learn through seeking spiritual balance, is the value of self-care. And maybe I needed to be pushed by yet another trauma or three in that direction, into that realization. So, hardest year of my life thus far, and hopefully not a record to be broken, but I value it. I value the personal growth that I experienced this year. And I think I've said before in my vlogs, moving forward, it's all about peace, love, and joy. That's what I want out of life. If something or someone doesn't bring me peace, love, and or joy, or is a threat to peace, love, and or joy, they're not allowed. Like no one is allowed in my home who is an agent of anything other than those three things: peace, love, joy. And so that's kind of a boundary I'm setting for myself that I'm going to try to adhere to. It means I can't let everyone in anymore. Like I guess it was, I rolled over and showed too many people my belly, I guess, in the past. But I'm very conscious of my boundaries right now. So, because that's how I'm going to get through. That's how I'm going to succeed this coming year. So, I think I've been rambling on enough, but end of the year vlog merits that. So, that's all there is. I'm not going to go back and review everything that happened this year. You have my old vlogs up on YouTube if you want to check that out. But that's all I'm going to say for now. I am nervous about the coming year, and I'm excited about the coming year. I am a mixed bag of emotions heading into 2025. Trepidation, like there's so much going on in the world, there's so much going on in the United States where I live. Scary things. There's scary stuff going on in the world right now. But I've got a lot going. So I have a lot to look forward to in this coming year. Not least of which is my new novel that's coming out, which will hopefully be back on the release schedule pretty darn quick. It's, I think, going to come out in March. It's called The Thing in the Attic, an Anderson Brothers paranormal investigation. If you read any of the fiction that I've got out there, the books and short stories set in the Nightfire realm, which is what I call that interconnected continuity of stories. It's a novel about some established characters who you don't need to have read anything they've been in before. You'll be given the information you need if you just want to pick up this book. But it's very dear to my heart, these characters and this story. But it's about the little boy from my Nightlight stories, Nightlight and Nightlight 2, but as a teenager. And there's some other characters. It's like him and his brother have a YouTube channel where they do paranormal investigations, and another character, Dario Young from Dario Young and the GPS from Hell, is in it. It's so fun. I love this story so much. It's so fun and deep and silly and emotional. Like, it's everything that I love in a story. So right, I really am looking forward to that coming out. So that's one of the big things for next year. There are other big things that I'll talk about as we get closer to them. But yeah, it's, I hesitate. People are so quick to say, oh, next year is going to be great. Everything's going to go our way next year. Next year's going to be fantastic. Fact is, I don't know that. Next year could very well be harder than this year. But I guess what I can say is that I am going to move boldly forward no matter what happens. What else happens in the background, or if something knocks me off track, I'm keeping my eye on the prize. This year, I will, if I have to adapt my battle plan to whatever happens in the world, I will. And so, I don't know what this year is going to be like at all. But I do know I'm going to be proud of the way that I live in it. And, I feel that's plenty enough to say about the coming year. So with that, I'll cut this vlog off, and if you enjoy the weird stuff I do on my quirky little micro YouTube channel, and we're up to 91 subscribers now. That's my all-time high. So I think that's fun. Cause I did this, honestly, I started this channel, one of the big reasons was because of that novel I was just telling you about. Like, the kids are YouTubers, so I needed to know how that works. I don't have any ambitions of being like a massive YouTuber. I like being a micro YouTuber. I think it's cool. And I think it's really cool that 91 people in the world enjoy this channel enough to actually subscribe to it. So if you want to join our merry little band, please do like and subscribe, do all the things that make me feel famous and loved. If you want to check out my writing, you can go to my author website, glensladeclarkjr.com. Check out all of my writing, my short fiction, links to all of these videos, my podcast that I do with Matthew Paul, Autodidactica. Everything you need to stalk a man, I've got it right there online, so you can do so. With that, we'll call it a vlog, and I'll be back with more vlogs as always. And so until next time, Happy New Year. And I hope that no matter what happens in the world in 2025, no matter what ups and downs are waiting for us that we can't possibly anticipate, I hope we all find a way to take the gifts from the hard times and absolutely revel in the good times. So again, Happy New Year, and I'll talk to y'all next time.